Hey tribe, welcome back to my channel. Kinna Mapalomaku, a personal finance expert and published author of the book You Are Not Broke, You Are Pre-Rich. So today I come back with another video, and it was inspired because I had a coaching session and a conversation also with someone when I was working with another client on tax-free savings accounts, on retirement annuities. So today I'm making a video on the difference between those two investment options, okay? And by the way, if you have been here long enough, you know how obsessed I am about a tax-free savings account. I have one, my two boys, each of them have one in their own names, okay? So please, by all means, get yourself a tax-free savings account with an asset management company. All right, so let's start with a tax-free savings account. I think the name itself is a bit deceiving. I actually don't like the name that much because I think when people hear savings account, they think that it is for the short term. That could not be further from the truth. A tax-free savings account should be a long-term investment. It should form part of your long-term strategy, okay? Because the benefits are just incredible. So you can invest up to a maximum of 36,000 Rand into a tax-free savings account, okay? Every single year, you can put 36,000 Rand into a tax-free savings account and a lifetime limit of 500,000. What does that mean? I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard it all the time on radio, a maximum of 500,000 in your lifetime, meaning that the amount of money that you as an individual can put into a tax-free savings account is up to 500,000 Rand. So what does that look like? So if you say 500,000 and you divide it by 36,000 Rand per year, meaning that your answer is about 13.86, right? Meaning that you will reach that amount in just 14 years. So if you were to contribute every single month, 3,000 Rand rather, because it's 3,000, it works out to be 3,000 Rand per month, 36,000 Rand per year. If you were to contribute 36,000 Rand per year, in 14 years, you would have reached the 500,000 tax limit. Then the question comes and people say, but Mapalo, then if that's the limit, does it mean that I have to take money out? So let's give an example. So let's say in the first year, you invest in a tax-free savings account. You put 36,000 Rand away into the tax-free savings account. And due to compound growth, due to you having invested in a good fund, it goes to 40,000. That's fine. That is perfectly fine. The limit is only on what you as an individual can contribute. What is not limited is the growth. So this thing can grow exponentially and it is not capped. All right. And I've done a calculation where we compute and say, all right, you're investing 36,000 Rand per year for the 14 years, or actually for 15 years. And we did it, I think, at a 12% real return real return. And at that time, in 15 years, you'll have over 1.2 million. I will actually try to do the proper calculation here because I know I'm getting my numbers a bit mixed up, but it is true. 1.2 million Rand. You would have only contributed 500,000. In 15 years' time, you have 1.2 million. You're not going to get penalized. You literally can go to, for example, Easy Equities, if you have it with Easy Equities, if you have it with Citrix, if you have it with Signia, you can knock on their door and say, hey, I've been investing for the past 15 years. Can I have what is in my fund? If it is 1.2 million, for the first time, SARS doesn't say, hey, give me a portion of that. That full amount comes into your account and you are happy. That's why I absolutely love a tax-free savings account, because you're not going to pay any interest, no dividend withholding tax, no capital gains whatsoever, all right? And the withdrawal is completely tax-free, all right? Yes, you can access the funds whenever. I know often I talk about 15 years, 20 years. Guys, people think that 15 years is a long time. People think that 10 years is a long time. Guys, I was 25. I was 28 at some point. I blinked. Now I'm in my 30s. So time does fly. Don't take for granted how quickly time flies. And also, just allow yourself to invest for the long term. I know sometimes it's a little bit of a foreign concept for us as a people, but we are that generation that's going to invest for the long term and actually see our money compounding. All right. And I love a tax-free savings account for my kids because imagine they are still small and they have this investment. Imagine by the time they are 30, we talk about generational wealth, but we don't make it practical. This is one of the ways in which you can make sure that your own children have the generational wealth that we're always hearing about on TikTok and everywhere else. Okay, it's practical, it is doable. But you have to be disciplined enough to leave those funds invested for the very long time. Another thing I love about a tax-free savings account is that there is no limit to the options that you can invest in. All right. So you can invest in exchange traded funds. You can invest on in funds that are based in South Africa, but you can also invest in funds that are based outside of South Africa. Remember, guys, the South African equity market is like 1.3% of the entire world. So it's a very small market, meaning that your portfolio is not well diversified enough if you are just investing in South Africa. Yes, you can have the top 40 companies in your tax-free savings account. I also love the S&P 500. I love the MSCI World Fund as well, giving you exposure outside of South Africa. So there's no limit to where you can invest in a tax-free savings account, all right? And again, I'm going to say it. Use it as a long-term investment, as part of your long-term strategy. And yes, you can use it as part of your retirement planning. So remember, I work for myself. So I don't have an employer who will, open a pension or provident fund for me. So with a retirement annuity and a tax-free savings account, that's how I'm making sure that my retirement is funded well. Okay. So that's a tax-free savings account. I hope, and I know some of the questions I often get are, can I have more than one tax-free savings account? Why? Why would you want to do that? If your maximum that you're contributing is 3,000 Rand per month, and you can contribute less if you only have 500 bucks, you can also do that. That's 100% allowed, okay? Why would you want to open a tax-free savings account with that institution, this asset manager and that asset manager? Just choose funds that make sense to your goals, all right? Just have one tax-free savings account. You can have multiple for sure. For example, let's say you open a tax-free savings account with Signia, one you open with Investec, for example. The limit at the end of the day is still 36,000 Rand. So one can have 20,000, the other one can have 16,000, whatever or how many ever tax-free savings accounts you have. At the end of the day, they must pull together, not be more than 36,000 Rand. Okay. Then with a retirement annuity, I love a retirement annuity. Like I said, I'm self-employed. So if you're self-employed and you don't have a pension fund, definitely it is something that you should be contributing towards. But make sure that that retirement annuity is a good retirement annuity. Not all retirement annuities are made the same. Okay, some are way more costly, and the thing about costs and fees is that they eat away at your investment. I know so many people who say, oh no, I have a retirement annuity. Who do you have your retirement annuity with? And what are the fees on that retirement annuity? Those are very, very important questions that you have to have the answers to. The higher the fees, the higher the costs, the less that you are going to end up having in your fund at the end of the day. And you do not want that. Okay? You do not want that. And I mean, it can be in the hundreds of thousands. I know on the 10x website, they do this calculator where they show you if you are just paying 1% in fees over a 30-40 year period, you are basically foregoing about 600,000, 700,000. That is a lot of money. Okay, so make sure that that retirement annuity, the fee structure, the cost there makes sense. There will always be costs for sure. That's the thing about investing. I mean, people don't work for free. So, but make sure that they are within reason and they are not eating away at actually you making money. So with a retirement annuity, you can contribute up to 27.5% of your taxable income into a retirement annuity that is actually tax deductible. Your contributions are tax deductible. Also, again, there is no growth. There is no tax on the investment growth as well. So that's very good. With a retirement annuity, you can only touch the 2/3, the retirement portion from the age of 55, which is the legal retirement age in South Africa. Remember, the two-pot system has been introduced. Before, it was that you cannot touch any funds whatsoever in a retirement annuity. But now with the introduction of the two-pot system that happened last year, 2024, September, now you can touch or you can have access to the savings portion. Okay, so remember how that two-pot system operates now is that, for example, let's say on a month-to-month basis, you are contributing 1,000 rand into your retirement annuity. So it's no longer going into one pot, but it's divided into two pots. One is towards the savings portion, that is the 1/3, then 2/3 goes towards the retirement pot that you cannot touch. So that's the only limitation. But again, I've had so many people come back to me and they show me their statement that, oh no, I withdrew this last year when they had their opportunity to withdraw, but it gets taxed so incredibly heavily according to your income tax bracket. Okay. So please, if it's not a necessity at all, don't touch those funds. I know, yes, you have access to them, but don't touch them, because the tax that you're paying there is just completely ridiculous. Then another limitation of a retirement annuity is that you have to comply with Regulation 28. So Regulation 28 literally limits you in terms of the exposure you can have in different asset classes. So in equity, in property, in bonds, and cash, to make sure that at the end of the day, you are not putting all your money into a 100% equity type of fund, which, yes, I know in the long term, you want to make sure that your money is in equity. But as you get closer to retirement, you want to make sure that your money is safe and it's growing nicely and stay in a stable manner. All right. So that's the difference between a tax-free savings account and a retirement annuity. And I have both, but I always say if you have a pension or provident fund and you sort of maxed it out and you do have extra funds, do consider a tax-free savings account, but do it for the long term. I know there's companies that advertise tax-free savings account as a short-term savings account thing. Guys, that does not make sense. It does not make sense because you are truly not getting the benefits of the no capital gains tax, no interest, no dividend withholding tax. If you keep on withdrawing those funds, let your money grow. Let your money grow, okay? Ask me any questions regarding a retirement annuity and a tax-free savings account, and I'll definitely be happy to answer all of your questions. And I hope that this podcasts are actually helping you guys to make better money choices and that you're becoming more confident. That is the whole point of this podcast, of this channel, that you become more confident when it comes to making money decisions. That's my story for the day. Until next time, I will see you soon. Bye for now.